and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, then hi, my name is Lauren, and on my channel we mostly talk about anything luxury, but we also discuss lifestyle and beauty. So if you're interested in any of these topics, please consider subscribing to my channel and we'll get started with the video. So in today's video, I'm presenting you another episode of my Real versus Fake series, this time featuring the Cartier Love ring. So if you're curious to learn how to spot the differences, then please keep on watching. So first things first, as always, let's start with the packaging, and here the Fake Factory kindly included the box. Before we start anything, can you guess which one is the real one and which one is the fake one? So over here in this hand we have the fake box, and over here in this other hand we have the real box. So right off the bat we have a couple of differences. Number one, the fake box, which again is here, is slightly larger than the real one. So the box is larger and then the font is larger as well. And then additionally, something that's different is they don't feature the same closure system. So if we take a look at them this way, you will see that the real one, which is in this hand, features a very simple lid system, whereas this one kind of has like a border on the bottom. So those are the main differences between the real and the fake box. So now moving on to the secondary box, because of course with Cartier there's always two boxes. And here something to note is that the factory actually did include the second box. Oftentimes it's not the case, so that's definitely something very positive. So here it's very surprising because it is kind of the opposite of the box. So for the box, the fake one was the largest one, but right here for the secondary box, the fake one is the smallest one. So this is only by like maybe 1 centimeter or less, so it's not a huge difference, but it's definitely something to notice. And then the second difference would be the drawings, or the little signs that are on top of the box. Obviously they are in gold. The ones that are on the fake box, which again is here, are a lot less apparent than on the real box, which is here. The ones on the real box are like very, very shiny. You can see them a lot. And here they look kind of almost faded. So that's also something to notice between real and fake. Alright, so now let's go ahead and move on to the real rings. So before we start anything, can you tell which one is the real one and which one is the fake one? So over here in this hand we have the real Cartier Love ring, and over here in this other hand we have the fake one. So I'm sure that you're already starting to think, oh my god, I don't see anything. Of course, I will include close-ups and kind of like mug shots for literally every aspect of what I'm talking about. For every difference, I'm going to include close-ups and mug shots because I realize that me holding the rings is not like super telling. And right off the bat, I think that the biggest difference, which is normal by the way, is the size. So my ring, which is the real ring, which is over here, is the small size, the thin band. And then the fake one, the one that the Fake Factory sent me, was the big one. So that's a normal difference, nothing, you know, special about that. They didn't have the small one, which is totally fine, but I feel like, you know, for all of the aspects that we're going to compare, this is still very, very valid. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is going to be the diamond. So both rings feature one diamond. That diamond is located at exactly the same spot for both of these rings. Now, the larger ring, the larger size, features a larger diamond, which again is normal. So that's not something to base ourselves off of. What we can tell about this diamond, however, is that it looks exactly the same as the real one. It is just as sparkly, but not more than the real one. It looks exactly the same. Moving on now to the material. So both are supposed to feature white gold. So obviously the real Cartier ring is actual white gold. This isn't. But however, it looks exactly the same. It's exactly the same like level of shine. It looks very identical to the real one. Honestly, I couldn't tell the difference at all. Now, moving on to sizing. So for sizing, this is going to be actually a big difference. So I got both in size 54. I got the real one in size 54, which is my size. It's perfect. It's perfectly snug, but not too much. And then for the fake one, I also got it in size 54, thinking that it would be the same sizing as the real one. But really it isn't. It's a lot larger and wider than the real one. So if I had known this, I would have had to order the fake one at least in size, I would say 52, maybe even 51, because there's definitely a lot of wiggle room. And we are in the summertime, so my fingers are kind of already like big and chunky compared to the winter. So the sizing is one of the biggest differences so far. Alright, so now let's talk about serial numbers. So the first thing to notice is on the fake ring, which is here, on the exterior side, so right here, there is the mention love, which is not at all existent on the real one. This is not something that happens on the real one at all. I looked for it, it wasn't there. So I'm not sure why they put that there. Obviously, if you're wearing the ring, it's not apparent, but maybe something to think about if you're trying to differentiate between a real and a fake. And then, so obviously the serial number for both rings are inside of the ring at a place where you can't see when you wear the ring, otherwise it would be a little bit ugly. That makes sense, I think. So for both, it says Cartier. And then here is something really interesting. So I just now looked at the inside of the ring, and so that's also where you can find the actual size. So mine, unsurprisingly, is in size 54. I already knew this. But now I just noticed that the fake one is in size 57. So please disregard what I mentioned about the sizing. It is just that the fake factory sent me the wrong size. I am 100% sure that I requested size 54 because I know this is my size. So they sent me 3 sizes up, which makes sense. It's not my size at all. So, well, you know, you live. It is what it is. So that kind of explains the sizing problem, but it's a little bit, you know, annoying from them to send me the wrong size, because now basically, like, even if I wanted to wear it, I couldn't. So I'm like, ugh, that's a little bit iffy from them. I hope that when you do pay for your items, that doesn't happen, because that would be a little annoying. Other than that, so now we're moving on to the serial number. So the serial number for Cartier is composed of 2 letters and then a series of 4 numbers, and that is the case on both of these rings. So obviously it's not going to be the same serial number, but it's the same combination. So first 2 letters, then 4 numbers. The one difference is that on the real one, which again is here, there is the mark that says AU 750, which happens on all Cartier pieces, on all VCA pieces too, I believe. But right here, this is not the case at all. It's not something that exists on this ring. So that would be something to look for if you're trying to differentiate between the fake and real. Definitely look for Cartier rings for the mention AU 750. If it's not there, it's likely a fake. the last thing to mention is going to be the pattern that is existing on both of these rings. So obviously the Love pattern is very, very specific, and it is the same on both of these rings. The one difference, which again makes sense, is that on the fake ring, it is a little bit larger because the ring is larger than on the real one, which is here. Other than that, it's exactly the same design. It is about the same spacing, especially proportionate to the size of the ring. So that's definitely something good about this fake ring. So in conclusion, I would say that this was actually a really good fake. Frankly, for a ring, it's also not something where people are going to have their nose on your rings because that would be a little gross. So I feel like this would be totally fine to wear like on vacation or something if you don't want to take your real one, or simply if you don't want to invest in a real one. I feel like having this would be totally fine. Now, the one thing that I felt a little bit disappointed about was the sizing issue. I feel like it kind of shows that the factory is not as like, you know, careful with their items. And I hope that if you do pay for your item, then you would have the right size, because otherwise, like, what can you do? You know, what are you supposed to do? 57 is like 3 sizes off from 54. So obviously I can't wear this ring. I never really intended to wear it, but I mean, if I did, it would be kind of a problem. So that's something to think about. But other than that, like, the quality of the item really is there. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was beneficial and informational for you in case you were trying to compare a real and a fake Love ring from Cartier. I feel like there are a couple of differences, and hopefully this video kind of showed them what they are. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.